Welcome to ABC Bullion's 360 Weekly Wrap. My name's Bron Suchecki. I'm joined by Nick Frappell, Global General Manager at ABC Bullion. Welcome, Nick.
Hello, Bron.
Gold's looking pretty strong, holding within the range that we talked about. A bit quiet with Independence Day for the US.
Yes.
How do you see it this week?
It's definitely technically bullish. It's above most of the correct lines on the Ichimoku daily, for example. However, it does have a feel of something that's losing a little bit of momentum, perhaps not helped by the Independence Day holiday. So some possibility we could retreat to the supports at 1730, 1720. 1720 is a pretty big one because it's the top of the daily cloud.
Yeah. Aussie dollar is still firm a little bit. Do you think it's got legs to keep pushing on? Or is it?
It hasn't done enough to break out of the ranges we've been talking about. It's still more or less at the weekly cloud top resistance. The next significant resistance point I would see is the 0.7135 as before. One thing is we saw some option expiries in the Aussie last week, and that might give the Aussie the freedom to move a little bit. It was slightly hemmed in by those strikes. Right, yeah. But yeah, it's ever firm. You know, it's 0.7 at the moment, or thereabouts. Doesn't look like it wants to go down, that's for sure.
Yeah. Platinum's holding 800. Yeah. Do you see it got the legs to push on, or is it consolidating?
The critical level, as far as I can see, is around about 860, 865, that level. At the moment, it's done a 0.618 retracement of the big drop. So that's kind of stopped it for the time being. Saying that, it is actually resting on the daily cloud top support level. That's positive. But unless it can get above the sort of 865, 870 level, I think actually it's more likely to fade a bit down to 740, 730 maybe. Yeah. At which point it may look like slightly better value. Better value
there. We've seen some really big deliveries, people standing for deliveries, some big volumes going through, which is historically quite unusual.
Yes.
What's driving that, and do you see that continuing for the foreseeable future?
The driver, I think, still is the relatively high EFPs, or very high EFPs we've seen historically, where people have said, okay, I'll sell into that, and I'll actually cover myself by buying physical, actually importing physical, taking it into the Comex warehouse. That's the driver. Will it continue? Well, EFPs have remained fairly elevated, and even in December they're still pretty elevated. I think, we're talking about 32 bucks last week. That's definitely enough to incentivize more physical to come into the depositories, the warehouses. So yeah, I think it can still continue, but as we were talking about earlier, those levels are at pretty much historic highs. So there's a lot of metal that's arrived, and what we're hearing is that some people are actually able to buy warranted metal at a slight discount in those repositories. And that makes sense too, because there's a lot of it about.
All right, thanks, Nick. Interesting. Stay in touch with the markets by following us on our social channels, as well as at abcbullion.com. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you.